Welcome to Dandara Induct. This online process will introduce you to the key health, safety and environmental requirements on our sites. These will help to keep you and everyone else safe. At the end of this induction video, you will complete a couple of multiple choice questions based on the content. You will need to answer these questions correctly before you join a site on your Dandara Induct account. Once you have done this, you will then be ready to start work on a Dandara site. On your first day arriving on a Dandara site, you must first report to the site office for a site-specific health and safety briefing from the site management team. The site management team will also confirm that you understand your safe systems of work. Your safe systems of work will outline the control measures associated with the work that you are undertaking. Key health and safety information, including the traffic management plan and the hazard board, will be displayed in the site compound. Please take a moment to read and understand this information before entering site, and remember to check back daily, as it is regularly updated. Drugs and alcohol are strictly prohibited on site. We may request that you partake in drug and alcohol testing. Anyone suspected or found to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol will be removed from site immediately. Parking is provided for all contractors and visitors. Please drive responsibly through the car park and park sensibly, being respectful of other vehicles. All delivery drivers must report to the site office upon arrival. We will provide adequate welfare facilities, such as toilets, canteens and drying rooms. Please treat them with respect and report any issues to the site management team immediately. The canteen will have displays of key health and safety information, which will identify the first aiders and fire marshals for the site. There will also be instructions for what to do in an emergency. The drying room can be used to dry belongings in the day and overnight. Please ensure that items are hung up and not directly placed over radiators or heaters, as this is a fire hazard. If for whatever reason you find yourself struggling, we have support services, including mental health resources, that are available to anyone who needs them. Effective traffic management is fundamental to the safe and segregated movement of pedestrians, plant and vehicles on site. Before entering site, you must review the traffic management plan. This will highlight pedestrian routes and areas with restricted access. You must not enter an exclusion zone. Always use the pedestrian routes and cross at the designated crossing points. Do not attempt to cross the roadways when plant or vehicles are approaching. If you do need to pass closely by plant that is operating, assume that the driver has not seen you until they give you the thumbs up to pass safely. If you have any questions or concerns about the traffic management, please speak to the site management team. Plant and equipment must only be used for the tasks that they were designed and are suitable for. All plant and equipment must be inspected regularly to ensure that it is in good working order. Any defects identified must be recorded and the plant or equipment stood down until the issues are resolved. Plant must have good all-round visibility. If there are visibility restrictions, visual aids such as mirrors or reversing cameras must be fitted. Before operating plant or equipment, please refer to your safe systems of work. You must only operate plant or equipment if you have the right competency training. When operating plant, if there is a seatbelt, it must be used. When operating dumpers, do not access spoil heaps. When not in use, the keys must be removed from plant. These must be locked away and only handed to authorised people. Work at height should be avoided where possible. If work at height must be carried out, then a suitable access system must be identified, along with effective fall prevention or fall protection measures. Under no circumstances should you undertake any work where there is a risk of falling from height. Before working at height, you must first read and understand your safe systems of work. A working at height risk assessment must identify the access equipment for you to use that is most suitable for the intended task. Only trained and competent people should use this access equipment. In most instances, a scaffold working platform or a preparatory access working platform will be provided. There will, however, be occasions when you will be required to use equipment such as ladders and hop-ups. These must be in good working order following an inspection and must only be used for their intended purpose. Do not alter or adapt any fall protection, working platforms or scaffolding. Any defects found on access equipment or incomplete scaffolding must be reported and not used. All Dandara sites operate a permit-to-work system for specific tasks and activities on site. Do not proceed with these tasks without prior authorization from a member of the site management team. Permits are required to break ground, carry out hot works, energize a circuit, and work in a confined space. Other site-specific permits may be required, as directed by the site management team. All permits must be closed on the same day that they were authorized. If it is required, a new permit may be requested at the start of the following day. The mandatory PPE to be worn on a Dandara site is hard hat, high visibility vest or jacket, and safety footwear with midsole protection. Other task-specific PPE may be required. Respiratory hazards are common within the construction industry, posing risks of chronic illnesses. Exposure to dust needs to be monitored, prevented, and controlled. Dust can be eliminated at source using either vacuum extraction or dust suppression. Water suppression must be used with cutting equipment. This is mandatory when using disc cutters to cut concrete tiles and masonry products. M-rated vacuums must be fitted when cutting all wood types internally. When mechanically cutting, RPE, eye and hearing protection must also be worn. There may be occasions when you need to carry out manual handling tasks. Specific requirements for manual handling must be assessed with the control measures detailed in your safe systems of work. Before attempting a lift, first determine whether the manual handling task is safe, taking into consideration the task, yourself or the person undertaking the lift, the load, and the environment. Where possible, use team or partner lifts, and make use of lifting equipment like telehandlers. To reduce slips, trips and falls, it is essential that everyone keeps a clean and tidy working area. Tools and work areas must be kept clear of excessive debris and surplus material. Safe means of access and egress must be maintained at all times. Report any trip hazards immediately to the site management team. All waste must be disposed of correctly in the designated area or skip. Where possible, you should reuse materials. This will not only help to keep your work area tidy, but also protect the environment. Key environmental risks will be made clear to you by our site management team. You must understand the environmental risks associated with your work activity and put in place the necessary control measures to eliminate or reduce negative environmental impact. Modern slavery is the illegal exploitation of people for personal or commercial gain. This can include forced labour and human trafficking. Please be vigilant in identifying warning signs of coercion or isolation. If you suspect that someone may be a victim of modern slavery, report your concerns to your supervisor or the site management team. You have a responsibility to report all accidents and near misses to the site management team. In the case of an accident or emergency, if required, locate a first aider. A first aid box and an automated external defibrillator will be found in the site office. You will find fire extinguishers and alarms positioned around the site. In the event of a fire, please raise the alarm. If you hear the alarm, please stop work and head straight to the fire assembly point. Please do not leave site. Thank you for watching our induction. We all have a responsibility to keep ourselves and others safe on site. By following the key health and safety principles in this induction video, you can help us all to work safe, stay safe. We look forward to welcoming you to a Dandara site.